This is my entire collection of grooming supplies. I'll start at this end. These are enzymatic toothpastes, just different flavor for dogs and cats. Vanilla mint. My dog likes this one, cat hates it. Chicken flavored enzymatic toothpaste. They both love this one. It says it's for dogs on it, but if you check the ingredients of this brand's cat, they're exactly the same. Toothbrush. Small end for the little back teeth. Big end works better for bigger dogs, so I tend to stick with this end for the cat and my dog. Nail clippers. This is the scissor style small nail clippers for cats and small dogs and puppies. Works great for my cat, worked great for my dog when she was very small, but now my dog needs to use these kind. They're the exact same style, they're just bigger. This is a Dremel. It's a tool to grind things, but I like to use it on nails sometimes. It spins, sands their nails down, makes them smooth. I like to do this to round the tips after trimming occasionally. This is a comb. It has a wide end and a narrow end. The wide end works great for my Ragdoll. The narrow end and the wide end work good for my dog. They have different coat types, so. This is the Furminator. This is an awesome deshedding tool. Pulls out undercoat. Helps reduce shedding a lot. Yes, the Furminator's a blade and it looks scary, but it's not sharp. I'm pushing very hard against my hand. It's not cutting me. So you don't really need to worry about cutting your pet with this. Okay, good tool. Next we have a pin brush. See, it has little pins at the end. The other side of it's a, what do you call it, bristle brush. I don't really use that side much except for my cat. Really loves to rub his face against that, so I do that to make him happy. This is a slicker. The slicker brush I don't think does much of anything, but I like to use it to clean up the carpet. You can see like lint and things in it. After brushing your pets, you can brush this on the couch or on the floor to pick up any excess hair that you weren't able to clump up. And use it around the house for your furniture. See, I got lint in there. Works good. Alright, ear cleaning solution for dogs and cats. Important to keep their ears clean. Make sure that they don't get infected. Eye cleaner, good to have on hand in case they get debris in there. Plus, my dog has watery eyes and gets goop in there, so I like to clean them out once in a while. A razor, or razor blade electronic. This is necessary for your long-haired cats and dogs to shave around their rear area to keep them clean and tidy. And last but not least, wipes. These are awesome for in between baths. It's just little wipes that are wet and they smell good. They're deodorizing, they're moisturizing, and it keeps them smelling clean and great for wiping dirty paws, great for wiping up after finishing cleaning up their rear. It's awesome. So that is my collection of stuff. After I turn off my camera, Solo, my Ragdoll, jumped on all the tools. Goes to show how much he likes this. He wants me to brush his teeth right now. We're gonna get to that in just a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna start off with brushing my pet's teeth. This is Coco, my Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and this is Solo, my Ragdoll. I'll start with Solo. I could use either of these toothpastes, but he likes chicken. So you can see he's already excited. Time to brush teeth. If it's your very first time brushing your cat's teeth, don't go to the toothbrush right away. They're not gonna like it. Start off with letting them taste it. If they like it, that's a good sign. He really loves his toothpaste. Next, you'll want to start putting some on your finger, letting them lick that. If that works, you're already getting them comfortable with you doing stuff with their mouth. And this isn't all going to happen in a day if you've never done this before. You also want to practice from time to time, lifting their teeth and maybe just touching a little bit, then reward. Good boy. So I use the toothpaste kind of as a treat too. Good boy. The same stuff applies for the dog. Dogs aren't going to necessarily want you to jam a toothbrush in their mouth right away. So you want to introduce them to the toothpaste early on and start playing with their mouths too. Make sure you practice lifting up the teeth, rubbing them so that they get used to it. I've been brushing Solo's teeth since he was a kitten, so he's pretty used to it. I just load up some toothpaste. I like to get the toothbrush wet before I brush too, just so that the bristles aren't so hard. And what I do with him is I spread his cheek back to expose his back teeth, and then I just scrub in there. He looks uncomfortable, yeah, but he likes it, trust me. He'd run away and jump if he hated it. And you only need to do a little bit of scrubbing. Don't feel like you need to brush how you brush your own teeth. Just a little bit's fine. So now I'm gonna do his fangs, his little canines, because I got his back teeth. So see, right there. Good boy. Just a little bit, scraping, good job. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, it's Coco's turn. I don't rinse the toothbrush in between them because they share the same water and eat the same treats, so I don't really mind, as long as neither of them are sick. Alright, so with Coco I do it a little bit differently. I started out the same way as Solo with her as a puppy, by spreading her cheeks back and then getting those back teeth, but I've recently worked up to open, telling her to open her mouth, and I put my finger in behind her canines like this. Yeah, she doesn't like it, but... And then that gives me better access to brush those back teeth. Open. Easy. Good girl. Easy. There, and then she calms down eventually. Good girl. And just a little bit's all you need. Easy. Good girl. Good job. And same with Solo. Let her have a little extra as a reward. If she didn't like it, she'd run away. And then I'll get her canines too. So I'll finish. So remember to practice touching your pet's teeth before you plan on going to a toothbrush. Practice making sure they like eating the toothpaste. Practice rubbing their gums. And then introduce the toothbrush slowly. Remember, you don't need to scrub a long time. Just a little bit goes a long way. You want more, huh? And with dogs, you can try opening their mouths so that you can get back there better. Cats have a small mouth, so I really wouldn't worry about that. And that's it. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to clip nails. This is perfect because I have a cat with clear nails and then a dog with black nails. Black nails are scary to trim, and cats can be scary to trim their nails as well. Keep in mind that just like brushing your animal's teeth with their nails, you want to practice touching their feet too. As you can see, these two are both very comfortable with letting me handle their feet. Not every animal is just going to come to you that way. It takes a lot of practice. We'll start with Solo. He gets these tiny little ones. And I still have my toothpaste on hand because it's a really convenient treat to give him as a reward. There's a lot of different ways you can cut their nails. Sorry to interrupt you, boy. You can just have your cat laying down like this, spread out their claws. And I clipped his nails not long ago, but you can see there's some clear part, and then there's that pink part. You don't want to clip that pink part, just the white. Snap. Good boy. Very good. And if your cat's not used to getting their teeth, or I'm sorry, their nails clipped, you might want to do one nail and treat at a time. I can do all of his feet, and then he gets the treat at the very end. Another way you can clip nails is laying your animal on their back like this. He actually needs his back feet clipped, so I'll show those. So he has furry feet, so use your finger to get that hair out of the way. Yes, you're a good boy. Alright, so see the white tip there? Snip. And you can go in small intervals if you're afraid to get to the pink part. He's a good boy and spreads his toes for me. Good job. Good. And then basically you can do that with all their feet. Like this. Don't forget the dew claw in the front. That one can curl, you know, pretty easy. Alright, now on to Coco. Her nails are black. She still has that vein inside of there with blood, like you saw on Solo's nails, but because she has black nails, you can't see that part, so it's a lot harder to trim a dog's nails that have black. So what I tend to do with hers is just keep the tips off. I'm not going to cut her nails because I did yesterday, but you can see that they're very blunt at the tip, like flat. As soon as those become pointy again is when I trim her nails. I just cut the tips off, and I do it about once a week so that they always stay short. I don't ever want her nails to get so long to the point where they're hitting the ground when she walks, because then that pushes up against their foot and makes it pretty uncomfortable for them to walk. But as far as technique goes, she has fuzzy feet. It can be hard to clip a dog's nails with fuzzy feet like this. So fold all the hair back like this in your hand. And then make sure you're not going to clip any hair inside of there. Position it. I'll just take a little tidbit off and then snap. That's it. Same with the back feet. Spread the hair back. Clip. Another way, just like with Solo, if your dog will allow you. Bigger dogs, you can do this on the floor. Cradle them in between your legs like this. You can do their nails this way if they let you. Snip, 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 snip. And another way that groomers do it is they keep the dog standing. This is great to do if your dog likes to try to bite at you. Hold them like this and lift their back leg like so. And then you can clip this way also. But what I can show you now is the Dremel tool. This Dremel, Coco is still getting used to. The sound of it scares her, and it vibrates too, so she really doesn't like it, but she tolerates it. So Mom is pretty proud of that. We're still working on it. With the Dremel, it's important that you keep the hair out of the way, because if you let the hair get caught in this as it's spinning, it'll rip and hurt. So sometimes you can take a nylon, poke their nails through it, and then that makes their nails stick out with no fur. But I'm just going to do a little bit. You'll see her probably try to hide. She doesn't like the noise. So it has a high setting and a low setting. I'm going to put it on the low setting for her. So you can see she's kind of like, uh-oh, I don't really want that. I push the nail out with my finger, and then with my other thumb I like to stabilize it, and then I go in one swift motion like this. Okay, and that keeps the tips rounded for you, makes them smooth. If your dog likes to jump on you and scratches you, this is great. If you have hardwood floors, your dogs are always scraping all over, this is great for that too. And since it only does a little bit at a time, you can really go nice and slow to avoid getting that vein in there. That's called the quick. So now you can see this nail is nice and smooth instead of blunt. It's not pointy, not sharp. Now it's time to Dremel Solo's nails. I don't tend to Dremel his nails, but I do from time to time just to see how he does. He doesn't like it that much either, but he tolerates it. So I'll put it on low for him also. And he has very thin nails, so this goes by very quickly. And that's that. You can do it on all their nails if you want. I'm just showing one. Good boy. Yes, that's a good boy. Here are my grooming supplies for brushing. I like to start with this to make sure that there's no tangles. With Solo, he tends to be tangly in his armpits and on his rear. So that's the parts I'm going to show you. Because obviously using the comb is pretty easy. You don't really need an explanation for that. But his hair works better with the thick part than it does with the thinner teeth. It's easier to get through. So, how I brush my cat. I always lay him down for this in my lap. He's a laid back boy, so I reach his arm up and I go in his armpit, checking for tangles. Nothing's there. Very good. Other arm. Very good. Then you can do his tummy. Now, I had to train Solo to let me do his back legs. Cats generally hate being touched back there. So the way I trained him to do this was simply, I would hold his leg like this and just wait until he stopped pulling at me. Your cat will fight this. He did. Probably took me 2 or 3 weeks to get him to learn to relax. And now when I go to brush him, all I kind of do is just push it up. He does it by himself and holds it that way for me. And then I can have easy access to check his rear for mats. And I just brush it through. It's so worth the training. Good boy. Then same with the other foot. Yeah, I know. He still doesn't like it, but he tolerates it. Let's do this other leg. Come on. No? Come on. Because good luck doing this with your cat standing up and trying to run away. Good boy. There. So we got your armpits and your butt. And then I like to get his ruff too. I know, you don't like this part. So that's why, like I said, keep the toothpaste on handy so you can keep him happy. It's an easy treat. Yes, now you're happy. Good job. Coco's kind of coat tends to mat behind her ears. See all that hair? So her hair works better with the thin tooth part. I just go through there like that. I'll flip her ear inside out. Get all these feathers in here too. And that's that. No mats. Good to do this at least once a week. I try to do it 3 times a week. No tangles, very good. I also like to do her arms. You know, anywhere that has the long hair, you want to check for mats. No mats, very good. And where else does she have long hair? Kind of on her chin. As she gets older, she's going to get longer hair down there, so we're practicing. Good. Good job. And she also has long hair on her butt. Sorry, I know, I'm so mean. So just like with Solo, I'll check her armpits, make sure there's no mats. She's not so good at letting me do the leg thing yet, working on that still with her. But, you know, you don't want them to mat back there. She uses her tail to try to hide it. Another way with dogs you can get back there is by having them stand and lift up one of their legs like so. Good girl. Here, stand right here. That way you can take the comb and just do this. And that's the comb. This is the Zoom Groom. It's a rubber brush, flexible. It's awesome. This is the dog one. They also come thinner in the cat version and lots of different colors. This is a very easy brush. You just rub it against their fur. It's a very gentle brush. Takes off all the loose hair, top coat or undercoat, whatever's loose in there that it picks up, it will grab. So this brush is awesome for Solo because it really gets a lot of hair off of him. And it's gentle, so I can push it hard. It doesn't hurt him. He seems to enjoy it. Coco doesn't have that much of a shedding type of coat, so this brush isn't going to do much good. But I still brush it on her just to socialize her, to get her used to different feelings and textures of things. She's only 7 months old, still a puppy. Yeah, no hair off of her. It's great for shedding things. This is the pin brush. This is kind of like a comb and one of these combined all into one. It penetrates the coat a little bit deeper and it helps you find mats if you missed any from the comb. So it's also another straightforward brush. You just brush them. Make sure you get nice and deep into their hair. This side is the bristle brush. I honestly don't know what it does, but he likes to have his cheeks brushed with it. Yeah. So he likes this brush. Same for the dog. Use the pin part to brush. You know, just like the comb if you want. Pretty simple. This is the Furminator. Protective plastic part comes off. These things can bend. You can see one of mine is bent right here. So you want to be careful with these because they're expensive. If too many of those get bent or broken, then you'll need to buy a new one. This is the dog size medium Furminator. I don't like the cat small one. I've used it before. It doesn't seem to have the same blade. It feels funny to me. This brush you need to be careful with. You should only use it on animals that have shedding coats. If you use it on a breed that doesn't shed, like a human, let's say, it's not going to do anything. It's like a comb. And I brushed my hair. It didn't cut anything. Some people say this brush cuts. It's not cutting my hair. Okay? So, I showed earlier, it's not a sharp brush. It doesn't hurt. But it's amazing at getting out undercoat. It may be pulling out coat that doesn't necessarily need to come out, but the goal is to reduce shedding, so the less hair that they have, the less they're gonna shed. I spread the fur apart like so I can get deep, right starting at his skin, and then I pull with the coat, just with it. So you can see that it's picking up the hairs that are getting caught in the blade. It's not cutting the hair, it's pulling it out. And he doesn't mind it, it doesn't hurt. If you're just gonna brush your animal straight like this, it doesn't always work well because their hair or their skin is kind of loose. So if you're going to do it that way without parting the hair, gently scruff them and tighten the skin. I don't know if you can see that. Scruff them like this, gently. Tighten up the skin. That way you won't encounter little clumps of skin like bumps in the road. And just gently go over like that. See, that was maybe 4 strokes, and look at how much hair that came out. This brush can be overused. You don't want to keep brushing and brushing and brushing until there's no coat left, because then you're removing all of their insulating undercoat. Helps them keep cool, and it helps them stay warm. You only want to do it just to the point where the excessive parts of the coat, or if you have an animal with really, really thick hair, just until they look nice. You don't want to keep going until there's no more hair left. So you want to be very careful. On Coco's kind of coat, she doesn't really have much of an undercoat. So if I use it on her, better tighten up her skin. Oh, well, I guess she's getting more. See how it only pulled out the fine down? It didn't pull out any of her silky top coat, only the fluffy under stuff. I sometimes use it on her ears because it helps straighten out her ear hair. Flip it inside out. Spaniels get this really curly stuff along the inside of their ears, so I like to get that out. Because see, it straightens it up. It's pretty cool. It's good stuff. See? Undercoat only, nothing that's the top silky coat. So I do like this brush, you just have to be very careful with it. Last but not least, the slicker brush. I don't know, it's kind of pokey. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's kind of weird. I've heard that this brush for using on your pets is good for just getting off all the loose hairs that may not have come off when you were brushing with the other tools. So just to kind of like finalize their coat, make it all go in the same direction. It's like that finishing brush. That's really the only time I'll ever use it on them, is just to get the hair in one direction and looking smooth. Yeah. Otherwise, cleanup is great. Look at my pants. Well, I guess this material doesn't work so well, but it still got some off. It got more hair off my pants than it did off the cat. Another really great thing for cleanup, go back to that Zoom Groom. Oh yeah, that's doing the trick on my pants, you see that? Yeah, so they can be used for cleanup as well. So next we're going to do the bum trim. This is important for long-haired animals because they will get messy when they go to the bathroom back there. So I'll show you my technique. I like to use like a beard trimmer, or you can buy a more expensive one from the pet store if you want actual pet clippers. So get them turned around. You gotta hold them up with that tail to expose their area. And never shave to their anus. Always shave away from it. They try to sit down, you can hold them up with their tail. It's fine, it doesn't hurt them. It's just kind of vibrating and scary. Then you go up the tail a little bit too. Then down a little bit. And I like to get these side hairs sometimes just to... I know, darling, we're almost done. And there you have it. It looks much neater than it did before. After you do your little bum trim, if you have somewhat of a mess or you find that there is a strong odor, these are great right after cleaning up back there. Just grab one of these little suckers. It's nice and wet. Turn your pet around. I know, sorry sweetie. And then, you know, just like wiping a baby's bottom. Yeah, I know, it feels funny. And that will keep them fresh and clean. Good girl. Good job. It's the same concept for the cat. Hold them up with the tail. Shave away from their anus, not into it. You don't want to accidentally nick them there. That would be awful. Solo likes to lay down and paddle his feet when I do it. And you can see this is a case where I'm going to need some cleanup after. So just basically expose the area you need to shave. And he was much better than Coco was. Very good. So I'm going to grab one of my little cleanup wipes, because he has a stinky cat butt. Go ahead and clean that up for him. Oh, does that feel good? Does that feel good? He is so funny. There, clean bottoms. Good boy. Good boy. Alright, time to clean Coco's ears. Her ears get dirtier than Solo's because she goes outside. It literally will be the exact same way to clean your cat's ears than what I'm going to show you with Coco. So lift the ear flap. Never use a Q-tip. I like using cotton balls. Q-tips you can stick in too far by accident. But with a cotton ball with your finger, you can't go in too far. So stuff it in as far as it will go and just gently swab it out. You can twist your finger in there just as far in as it will let you. Hers came out clean. If your dog's came out dirty, get a new cotton ball, put some more solution on it, and do it again. Keep doing it until it comes out clean. And then the same thing with the other ear. Even if the cotton ball does come out clean, I will always use a fresh cotton ball for the other ear. Just because if one ear happens to have an infection and I just don't see it, we don't want to spread it to the other ear, just in case. Good girl. So down the ear canal with my finger in as far as it will let me go and just rub it. Clean. A little bit of dirt. Not so bad. Good girl. And Again, I don't do this much with Solo, but with Coco, she has watery eyes. You can see that they're kind of weepy. And she also tends to get gunky stuff built up in her eyes. I don't know if you can see in this eye, but she has some in there right now. It's clear gunky stuff. I don't know. Anyways, so once in a while I like to moisturize and cleanse her eyes with this. She hates it. Absolutely hates it. I hate eye drops too, so I don't blame her. So I'll just hold her, keep her eyes open, and she goes, no, I hate it, and just squirt some in there and just kind of rub it. Good girl. Same with the other one. I'm sorry, I know you hate that. And that's how I get her eyes nice and fresh. And then I will take one of my wipes. That was 2. Take one of them and just clean up around her face. And this pretty much helps. Like, I'll rub the goop, it helps loosen that up, get it to the edge, and eventually you can just pull it right out. And then clean up those eye corners. And these wipes, you can also use all over their body. Great for paws after cleanup, to clean up after they've been outside. On their bodies, make them smell good. You really should only give your dog a bath once a month, no more than that. She gets a bath every 6 weeks, maybe every 2 months. Too much bathing can be bad for them. It strips the oils off their skin. So doing stuff like this helps make it so you don't need to wash them all the time. Thanks for watching.